Hey guys, welcome to Hercules, and today I'm going to tell you about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Deep End. But first, I'll give you a spoiler alert. Before watching this, please pause the video and think, do I want to watch this book review? But just also think about this fact. I will only give the important details needed to know about this book. So, first of all, it's not named The Deep End because he's in the deep end of the pool. And also, this is my first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book review. So let me just give you a series summary. So the series is about a kid named Greg, the guy under the pool. And his family is always into problems, like his big bullying brother Roderick and his spoiled little brother Manny, and his two parents are always against Greg or with Greg. But anyway, wherever Greg is wherever Greg or his family is, there's always problems. And so it's named The Deep End because Greg's family can get off the hook any minute of this book. Like they can get off the deep end. It's because they've been cooped up in their grandma's basement and a bunch of problems in the rest of the book. So, they're going off the deep end in Grandma's basement for 3 big reasons. Number 1 is that they don't have access to bathrooms. Number 2 is that they don't have access to kitchens. Number 3 is that there's no television in the basement. And you might be thinking, what are you talking? You can just get out of the basement, use the bathroom, go into the kitchen, have your food, and then watch TV in the living room. But if your grandma's not a very nice host, it's not like that. She doesn't want them to stay in sight when her friends come over. This is from Grandma's point of view. And that really is a big problem. I'll show you a photo of why they can't, go to the... this is Greg's family. They really need to go to the bathroom. They really do. Except Grandma's friends are outside. And they stay forever. See? And using kitchens is also a big problem because they can't have their food. And Roderick really got tired of that, so in the dryer, he heated up some leftover pizza and ate it. In the dryer. He's smart enough to know that it's not very cool to do that. But that's how desperate they are to actually do something. And then the TV is also a big problem because they need to use their imagination. Because, as I said, their friends stay forever. And they needed to use their imagination, make a puppet show. I'll show you another one. Oh, and just saying, you might be wondering how they're broke. As you see here, Manny accidentally broke their house. I know, right? It seems pretty impossible. But Manny broke their house in the other book. In, the last book before this, The Wrecking Ball. So, where I was. So they needed to use their imagination, make a puppet show instead of, real news. And they even made... And they could not go on any trips. So they made this. Welcome to Paris. And it was not really like that. And Greg had some hope of actually getting to go on a vacation this summer. Here, he's trying to convince his best friend Rowley's family that he can go to the other side of the world with them for summer. And Manny's pretty much getting babied for a lot of reasons. But at the same time, Manny is kind of doing good for this family. Half the reason why this book has a happy ending is because of Manny. Anyway, so Greg's family finally realizes that a good vacation would do. So I'm just giving you everybody's opinion. So Greg's dad is crazy about the Civil War. He has their own model in the basement before it got destroyed. So he wanted to do a reenactment and visit a bunch of battlefields. And people thought that was an amazing idea, except Nobody wears a woolen underwear in the middle of August. And Manny wants to go to the animal safari, and nobody agreed with him. A, it's because babies normally go there. Well, Manny's only 3. And then B is that it's pretty sad that their zebra is actually a donkey covered to look like a zebra. And then Mom said we can save money by staying close, like going home and visiting places in our own community. Except he had too many field trips, and he knows this town inside out. And most of his field trips are educational, right? Most of his community is not like that. So I think the only educational place for a kid the principal was announcing, we are going to go to the wastewater treatment facility. And then for once in this entire series, I'm surprised to read this, but Greg and Roderick actually agreed on something. They've got half-price tickets for Thrills and Spills, a water park and amusement park like our local Six Flags. And they had a new roller coaster. Except, as I told you, Manny is getting too babied, and Mom does not resist Manny missing out, but she can handle Greg and Roderick missing out. Like, she has another opinion. Let's go to Storybook Village and see a puppet, Little Miss Muffet, and the Spider Story on like a roller coaster. And Greg and Roderick had enough of that. They went there when they were little. And then Greg had an amazing idea that Mom rejected. Like, literally rejected. He said, because nobody can agree on one thing, let's just go on our own vacations and abandon each other, and we'll show a slideshow by the end of summer. And then Mom's like, no, we're going to stay on a family for this vacation. And they could not agree with each other for the rest of the week. Until one night, the grandma, as I told you, is not a very good host, is treating them as their servants, and said to pull out a camper out of her driveway because somebody owned the camper who was related to Grandma and works now, and they don't really need to work, like live in this camper. It belongs to a guy named Uncle Gary. So they just figured out that. So at first, Dad was like, why do I need to clean up this Uncle Gary's mess all the time? Until Mom said, no, you should clean up and be happy, because this is the only way we can actually have a summer vacation. Because Mom stated the most reasonable point, saying that vacations are expensive for most families because you need a place to stay and somebody to cook for you. But the camper solves both problems of that. And that too, you don't need to go pull over on the highway for doing the bathroom or something, because it's literally part of the camper. So they just figure out that the camper would be the most amazing idea, and they buy the needed equipment. But Greg has one small doubt, one small teeny tiny doubt about this. It's not about him flying on a cliffhanger, but it's about Mom trying to turn this into an educational trip. But Greg's doubt was actually true. He found this in Mom's shopping list, wildlife bingo cards. And he just shows how much fun he wants going bungee jumping. And as I told you, they stocked up for their trip, and they could not get everything you can. And then they asked this guy, do we have everything? And then he's like, where you're going, there's a lot of bears. Be aware. And he said, use wolf urine to scare off bears. They're really scared of wolves. And then, because they're broke, wolf urine is very expensive and they can't get it. So he said, I hope it's not my job to collect the wolf urine. He needs to get his grades up. And they bought a flare gun, just in case of the worst case situation. So they just get there until they realize that this is Uncle Gary's camper from the inside. And then this is just them cleaning. So they just clean it, and they're getting ready for their trip. For once, everybody in the series in a photo is looking happy. Until they figured out that they're not actually done. And Mom said that they're getting into the RV lifestyle, and they can get popular online like this. Get around with the Heffleys featuring Maddie. Like and subscribe. And he's just getting into the RV lifestyle. They had no plans for the entire day until Mom took away their cell phones and everything and put them in an indestructible area. So they were just cruising along the highway and going along until they needed to stop eventually one night, and they wanted to take a swim in this very clear lake. And then they realized that they trespassed into a fish hatchery. So they went to a very good meadow, and they realized it was a farmer's. So they eventually found an area that did not belong to anyone. So when they woke up the next day, I'll show you this. When you wake up the next day, you don't expect yourself to drive into your local park in the middle of a Little League baseball game. And they just get past that, and they find this family adventure center. To just summarize this part of their trip, Manny was not tall enough to ride almost anything, and then Greg just gets a problem, like both of his tubes explode and his swim trunks fall off him for some reason. And he had to swim down the Mississippi River. And he was a quarter of a mile away from the docking point for your floats. And because this was the case, when you come back to your family, and they just thought that they can go to a national forest, like to go camping, and it became so problematic for the Heffleys because now they think that Grandma's basement is heaven. Until they wanted to go camping in a real camping spot. To summarize this part of their trip, a giant bear started attacking them, and Manny shot the flare gun. Except a forest fire could have started because it never rained in weeks in that area. Luckily, one did not happen. Sadly, they got kicked out from that campsite the next thing in the morning. So then they just went to how it was before. You're just riding on your RV, trying to not go on somebody's property for the night. And Mom decided we should go to another family fun center and found this place named Camper's Eden. Camper's Eden looks very good on the web, but trust me, it's horrible. Because, they all had, it looks nice, except it's full of horrible people. So Greg joins this gang here, and they don't have a very nice name in this area. So they get very violent for basically no reason. And one day they were just playing, pulling pranks, and doing their regular schedule until, dun dun dun, teenagers started ambushing them with watermelons in a hammock as slingshots. And they decided they had enough of this because it turns out that every day they come to the camp, this always happens when they're trying to come back to their campers. So they decided to make up a very undetailed plan, but it still works. So I'll show you their plan. So here's their plan. I'll put this on our camera so you understand how this works. So they would have a decoy team, one person would be swimming in the center of the lake, and the ambush team would be going here because their focus is on the decoy. And then the ambush team with their water pistols is going to take them out. So far it's actually working. Big Marcus was the decoy. And the ambush team was doing an amazing job. Look at this. Look at this fire. Like a full fire. You barely see those. Until the teenagers done the opposite to them. And then they hid in the snack shack. And they were reloading their guns with guess what? Soda. And Five had put ketchup and mustard into everybody's guns, and they fired. And then the entire room was full of bees and everything. And then they were just talking about the camp rules. And also, the camp director is very smart to get people into trouble for doing mischief. So this is the sign: ice cream Sunday party, trading your squirt gun for a free ice cream sundae. But then this guy shows him that, and then Greg's like, no, that's just something, that ice cream part does not exist. It's just a bait to figure out who is destroying the snack shack. And then it was too late. Everybody, like here. So this is what he saw. And then he just blames it on Greg's code name, Jimmy Dogfish, the leader, the actual leader of the plan. And then this photo actually comes when the camp director searched the pool, and he just went down there. And to end the story, a bridge destroyed everything, like the bridge to enter and exit the camp. And that is not a very good thing, because no supplies can come. Until one night they realized if they can fix the bridge by using their RV as the van, they could actually get the camp to themselves. So Manny pointed the the flare gun and just shot SOSs out. And they had the entire thing for the park for themselves. And here, before it was like super crowded in order to do this. It was super crowded. And then if you're stranded in the same place until the next summer, your bring back plan is you're taming sharks. You're holding a bear captive. You're fishing with a skunk, and you're just sitting down on nothing. And this is Daria for Wimpy Kid, the Deep End. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you later. So the story ends, but not the video. I really recommend this book for people who love comedy and big plot twists. Like, as I told you, it looks like Campers Eden was the best place to stay, except it was your worst nightmare. That's a big plot twist. So I really recommend it if you like that. And I actually might give you more Diary of a Wimpy Kid book reviews if you really like this. Stay tuned for those. And please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.